We got ourselves Team Russia we got ourselves a new contestant, Growlmore. That's a name I can actually say out loud. We got RC in here as well, Subsy as well. We got Veru and actually it's Mogilia. So it's like a graveyard. We're gonna call him BM Mage because it looks like B and M is the first letters. Alright, just to make it easier. Versus another Team Russia with Vital. We got ourselves a Val, we got ourselves Den, we got ourselves Mihalin. Max, can we call him Max? Close enough, right? And we also got, what is that? Proc? Proc, we'll call him Proc. Oh my god, some of these names. It's gonna be Max as a Pandaren Fury Warrior. Get in with the disarm off the bat. It's gonna go for the Pandaren Racial to Growlmore. Growl's gonna have to go for huge damage on the Max right here, but Max, man. Max, is he ready? Is he prepared? Looks like these two warriors are just tussling for one another. I think Growl tried to go for a Cyclotronic by the looks of it. It's gonna get a hit with a Maledic instead. Max, perfect opportunity for you to get some pressure rolling on the guy. It's gonna Zerker Rage out, but Growl's still landing a charge heal off of Max into a Storm Bolt onto the Panda. He does trick it out of it, continuing the pressure onto Growl as best as possible, trying to get himself a Cyclotronic. I think he's also trying to see if maybe Max might go for an interrupt. Cyclotronic comes out. He does reflect it, I think. Back to Growl. That might have been the perfect reflect there for Max. Not looking at a lot of opportunities to reflect against the warrior, but that might have been perfect. And Max just continuing to shred through Growl. Stormbolt, trick us out of it immediately. Charge coming out for Growl, actually. And it's going to get a disarm onto Max. He's going to have to waddle out of there. Growl, unable to really get a lot of self-heals back through a disarm into a Stormbolt onto Max as well. And Growl so far, I mean, he's starting to make a recovery little by little, but not by much. He's still on the lower end, while Max has been on the higher end this whole time, trying to see if he can get maybe some mobility away from Growl, just trying to move out so he can get a charge back in. Max trying to stay on top of his health. Next Stormbolt, next setup, and everybody here got to make it play. Going to be a Blaze Storm early for Growl in case it's going to go for Rage Regeneration, but it's going to get hit with a stun, and Max just looking to run away from it. He's just bailing out of there. Leap coming out for Growl. Does get hit with a Fear. I think he might have gotten one Bloodthirst off, and it's going to be a Storm Bolt onto Max. Now, Max can use his Shield of Vengeance fairly easily. Or his Rage Regeneration easily. He actually has to wait. Now that Growl uses his Enrage Regen, Max should be able to use his Enrage Regen to catch up on health. If it's a chess match. But that's exactly what Max was waiting for. He cannot use it with a disarm on the way. He needs to be able to use it when there's no disarm or Stormbolt to stop it. He's going to get a Stormbolt onto Growl. He could go for it. Try to see if he can delay his defense. So gets himself quite a bit of healing either way. Stormbolt for Growl right now is just trying to turn the tides here. Both of these warriors are at the same position in terms of health. They're going to be tossing each other. I think until Dampening starts to kick in maybe. Unless Max, he does have Stormbolt. He does do what looks like a little bit more damage to Growl. As Growl's health is not looking good by the minute. Growl, however, does run Disarm, so he could end up winning just on utility alone. Mallet rolling into Growl. He actually has no way out against it. He doesn't have a defensive rolling anymore. Does he get a Mallet rolling back on Max? He doesn't Stormbolt into Growl. Perfect opportunity for Max. Might be able to get that Axing and Growl getting the stun into Max. A trick inside of it. Growl could go for a Disarm. He does land the Disarm. Growl still not doing good on health. He's still super low. Panda Racial coming out. His Zerker raging out of the Panda Racial. Growl is still hanging on to hanging by the skin of his teeth, of his hair, barely any health available. Executes are just pummeling back to back, and he somehow crawl out of it and reverse the damage back to Max. Max's health is actually not looking nearly as safe. Growl, if he can sustain himself there, next Stormbolt could be a setup, is going to get a trinket off of that Stormbolt. Fear coming down into Growl. Max does get a charge. I don't know if he was able to capitalize on that charge heal though, as the Stormbolt came up right after, and Max finally able to go for his own Enrage Regeneration. Growl, no longer with a Mally rolling on him though, is looking like he might be able to make a quick recovery. His own Enrage Regeneration coming up in just a second. So Growl could turn this around, trying to go for even more damage to the Max. So far, I'd say Max safely has more damage than Growl. Growl, however, has the utility of Disarm and a Stormbolt. Both of these two, I think, are running Mally Trinket. That's going to be Disarm into Max. He needs to find a way to deal with that Disarm. So that's a moment for Growl to heal up, and a moment where Max is can't do any damage. That's going to be Disarm into a Stormbolt. Growl trying to maximize the damage, but through a Disarm and a Stormbolt, Max just doesn't take any damage whatsoever. Growl was at least able to recover in health. 4 minutes in, we are going to probably start seeing these guys into dampening. But it's going to be huge in rage regen for Growl right now. 14% dampening, 7 minutes in. And Max looking like he actually might be in a bad spot. Does go for that clutch panda racial in order to get himself a charge, maybe a heal off of Glam. Does go for a reflect. Looks like Growl might have actually canceled the channel early. Or he messed up his own channel cancel. He might have messed it up. He might not have Cyclotronic anymore. He have has Cyclo. And if you can get a Cyclo into Max, he still might have a good position. All he needs to do is get a Stormbolt into Max and get a Cyclotronic from a distance. And that'll do the trick. He actually did it! Cyclotronic with a Stormbolt. He's trying to do as much damage. Trying to get him close to the execute. Can Max somehow recover. He's trying to leap away. Double charge for the both of them. So it's going to be a pretty big bloodthirst for the both of the warriors. Growl still got so much damage pressure. Max actually might have it turned around on him. Commanding shot coming out for Max right now is going to be able to give him a little bit extra help to save off those executes. But he's still in such a bad spot. Growl with the disarm. Max going down right after. Oh my god, Max has such a battle back to back with Growl. But in the end, that disarm ended up making the play, dude. I told you, it's either going to be the disarm play with the Stormbolt, or it's going to be the raw pressure out of Max. It looks like the raw damage and pressure and healing out of Max just wasn't enough. The Panda Racial came in clutch. If he had disarm for it, I think it would have been good. But maybe Max looked at the enemy team with a mage and a couple monks and a paladin and thought maybe reflect might be really good against a hammer of justice, so maybe that's where it came down to. While Growl looked at the enemy team and was like, a lot of melee and one caster, maybe a disarm might be worth. Cheap shot onto Growl. Looks like Den is just trying to see if he can dent Growl a little bit. Just let the dots do work and just kind of AFK around the guy. He is going to let the dots do work with the Crucible. Growl is going to have to go for a heal himself. He really needs those Underrot Trinket procs right now. If possible, is gonna get the rogue out and stealth into a Stormbolt right after. Growl barely has any health, blind onto that enrage regeneration. That's very unfortunate. Den is looking to catch himself a reset. Did he just DR his own stun though? The rogue might have actually DR'd his own stun, so that's gonna make it harder for him to get a really good setup. He's gonna get saps at least. Growl might be able to find him. Kidder shot to follow it. No DR this time. Growl's gonna take a bit of damage. Under a Trinket proccing, doing quite a bit of healing. Does get a charge off of the rogue, so it should be a good heal. Then actually goes for evasion, and he does tell the dots tick down on the Growl. It looks like Subs wants to give him the honor though. He's like, yo, I just want you to know who you're doing. Hey, how's it going? Then it's still getting the sap of the guy. I guess it doesn't matter. He was getting sap either way. Ooh, shot a step, get the shot, but actually Subs dips out into the platform a little bit. That actually would have been a really good setup by Den. I thought for a second, like, why do you get Road and just run away? But that was an interesting choice. Den, no longer with an evasion, though, is going to sprint out of those Fists of Fury, getting a Crucible right at Subsy right after. Walk him out for Subsy. Might just go for a big damage on the Den. He does have a vanish if things don't really go bad. Evasion, no available. Is going to be disarmed. Karma does vanish it. Touch of Death does get eaten away while vanishes up. Subsy actually barely any health available. Mally rolling on the guy. The dots could end him. Go Road, stop at Subsy, get the shot to follow. He trinkets out of it. Fist of Furies. He might just die to dots either way. Subsy does go down. Wow, that was quick. That was really quick. That's some good rogue dot damage right there. Who's up next? RC, Beru, MC, BM. Looks like they're just sitting. They're like sitting. Looks like they're waiting for RC. Yeah, you're next, I guess. I'm guessing. The other guy's kind of sad. They're like, not me. Nah, not me either. Is Den? Soul Inhale for Subsy. Just trying to take another soul of a monk to verse another monk. Is he going to do the same thing? Garrote and then run off? Oh, he's actually going to go for a cheap shot into a Kinder shot right after. Crucible's to follow. That's quite a bit of damage, though. That's actually quite a good opener. I'm taking notes here, boys. I think your Assassination Rogue should be taken too. That's some Russian strats, dude. That's some Russian strats. Still get the cheap shot. Don't do the full kidney shot. Might as well get more stun value, and you'll still get the dot. That's going to be a touch of death onto Den right now, but RC wasn't able to cop out a lot of damage onto it. So touch of death was going to do quite a damage, but not nearly as much, and not going to be nearly as detrimental as it could be. Evasion up for Den right now. RC does get himself the diffuse magic, but kidney shot still might be bad for him. Blind onto the trinket. Oh my god, Den was just trying to wait out for that trinket the whole time. As he goes for that full setup with a cheap shot, full kidney shot, I think that might be it, dude. He's even going for that first A just to prepare for the next duel. As long as RC does not get a heal, does get a dot, cheap shot to follow, is going to get some damage in. Mark for that kidney shot. Is that going to be enough damage? RC does have a karma. He needs to use that karma immediately. He's actually going to die to the dots. He actually dies to the dots. Oh my god, hiding from the karma. The dots for Dan are actually doing pretty well. Very well done. I don't really see a lot of Assassination Rogue playing the dot game. I mean, I guess it's not really built for dots. It's just playing a safe game more than anything. But the dots really are doing work. He's letting the dots stick out. It is a 45% dampening game, however. That is one of the longer games that we've seen because of the Fury Warrior double wombo combo scramble. So it is going to be a little bit tough for everybody else to survive. Since he's probably going to get a full Rupture, full Garrotes, full everything. Getting a shot onto Beru. Beru is just, I mean, look at him. He's literally in the opener melted to half health. Even less right now. He's literally melting these guys. Maybe he has a lot of mastery in his gear. So maybe it is a dot-based build, but he really is actually putting a lot of pressure on these guys. Maybe a triple shrouded suffocation build or something like that, but he's just waiting in stealth. Is that what he's gonna do as a rogue? Just open up with the dots and just slink away in stealth? He just might. He might just have to play it like that. I mean, those dots are actually melting. He's gonna force the other person to use trinkets and garrotes and everything. Kiddish out in the opener. Actually gonna force a trinket out of Baroom. Den does not have an opener or trinket to counter it. Worst up to fall. Lots of damage out of this paladin right now. Den does have his safety trinket proccing. Gonna be Shield of Vengeance right now for Baru. Does force him to share Shield of Vengeance while Cloakshot is running. Mally was rolling onto Baru. Den might just have to vanish out of this, and he does. Baru actually out of a bubble, out of Shield of Vengeance, out of trinket. He forced everything out of Baru, and the next setup, he actually might be done for the count. Trying to go for first aid so Baru doesn't sit in stealth, or doesn't sit and just get himself fully healed the whole time. Sapping the paladin. Baru does have a bop, so if Dan could just do the most amount of damage with all the dots in the world and just dot him up, let him rot from the get-go, he might be able to have him get another venom, making sure that Baru does not even get a global to do anything. That was just dirty. Alrighty, BM Mage is up next, starting up with an Invis. Might want to pick up Eyes. No? Maybe not. I feel like Dan might just have the easiest time here. So far, he's just let the dots do work, and he faced against BM before. You can kind of see the BM is backpedaling a little bit. The backpedal should probably give you a little bit of extra information that maybe we see the caliber of mages is, but maybe BM might stand a chance, man. It is an assassination rogue, but they only have Shadow Step. That's all they have. If BM gets hit with a dot, I wonder if Dan swapped to Deadly Poison with this high dampening. That might be why he's doing so much dot damage. And Dan is just building up combo points for free from BM. Force him trying to get him to blink around the corner. Oh boy. BM could blink back if he wanted to. Looks like he's lagging a little bit. Garrote does establish by Den. He's still building combo points. Trinket coming out for BM to get out of that silence. And then is having to use Crucibles defensively. Kidney shot onto BM. Could go for a trinket available actually. Is gonna ice block. So Den forced out that ice block fairly easily. Blind to follow. That's it, dude. It's game. It's game. Den, just put some dots and let him rot, man. That's all you gotta say to him. Put some dots and let him rot. Oh my god, look at that dude. What is that? Taking a screenshot, taking a selfie with BM. Put some dots and let him rot, man. Leave the boy alone. Mally to follow. Yeah, he got nothing. Or for the kidney shot. He's actually just gonna end it. He's gonna be that Cloak of Shadows just to make sure. Banish Garrote. Dude, that's just BM. But the dots are good. He actually went for a big old 1v5. I didn't even realize that. Oh my goodness.